Louisville, the members of the Clemson defense had heard all week about the uncanny playmaking ability of Lamar Jackson, Louisville's Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback who had performed magnificently last year in nearly engineering an upset of the Tigers. The Clemson defensive line, in particular, took exception to the suggestion that Jackson was poised to elevate his Heisman candidacy this season with another virtuoso showing, this time in the friendly confines of Cardinal Stadium and in front of a national television audience. The Tigers instead had Jackson back-peddling and scrambling far more often than he's accustomed during a 47-21 statement win Saturday night that puts number 3 Clemson in early position for a spot in the NCAA playoff and a run at a second straight national championship. "We had 2 goals tonight. One was to get the job done, and the second was to leave no doubt," said Clemson coach Dabo Swinney. "We felt like we left a little doubt the past couple years. Last year against these guys we turned it over 5 times. Came here a couple years ago and gave up a kick return to the house. We just wanted to play good, sound, complimentary football tonight, and we did that in all 3 phases." Clemson, 3-0, also gained the inside track on winning the competitive ACC Atlantic Division. The number 14 Cardinals, 2-1, meanwhile, are left to wonder what went awry in another clunker, at least when the outcome remained in doubt, against a premier defense. In last year's Citrus Bowl, Louisiana State bottled Jackson on the way to a 29-9 victory. Jackson finished with 381 yards of total offense against Clemson, much of it cosmetic and coming with the Cardinals well behind in the fourth quarter. His longest run went for 30 yards, and he did not score a rushing touchdown in front of an announced crowd of 55,588, the second largest in Cardinal Stadium history. "We came out flat," said Jackson. "We weren't scoring points. The offense did a horrible job tonight. It's all on us." Florida Gators' Hail Mary added up to a victory and saved the game for viewers. A elbow room in the stands grew increasingly available in the final minutes of the third quarter following a 1-yard touchdown run by Clemson quarterback Kelly Bryant, charged with replacing Deshaun Watson, the offensive MVP in last season's national championship game. Bryant's touchdown extended the lead to 33-7 with 2:16 to go. The Tigers had been in front, 26-7, with 8:57 to play, when linebacker Dorian O'Daniel gathered a leaping interception of Jackson's pass and returned it 44 yards for a touchdown. It was the first touchdown of O'Daniel's career and Clemson's first turnover forced this year. The Tigers rolled up 613 yards of total offense and averaged 7.6 yards per play. Bryant, a junior, completed 22 of 32 passes for 316 yards and 1 touchdown without an interception before exiting for good with 5 minutes to play. He added 2 rushing touchdowns, outshining Jackson when it mattered in a much-hyped matchup. Louisville fans began lining up outside the gates hours before kickoff of one of the most anticipated games in school history. Most of the Cardinals' faithful arrived clad in black, including some proudly wearing T-shirts emblazoned with Heisman in a nod to Jackson. The junior is seeking to become the second player to win college football's most prestigious individual award twice, joining Ohio State's Archie Griffin. Jackson's Heisman campaign this season got off to a rousing start over the first 2 games, including last week when he amassed 525 total yards and accounted for 6 touchdowns in a 47-35 win against North Carolina. Approximating those statistics, however, figured to be a chore against Clemson, which features one of the most menacing defensive lines in the country. Entering the game, the Tigers were leading major college football with 60 sacks, including 11 in last week's 14-6 victory over then number 13 Auburn. "If you had asked me before the game if we were going to dominate, obviously I'm going to have confidence, but you just know they're going to make plays. That's just who they are, what they do," said Clemson defensive lineman Christian Wilkins. "They've got a lot of explosive players over there, so to hold them to 7 points through 3 quarters, that just shows the commitment of the guys on defense." In addition, The Tigers had been approaching this game with an edge following Jackson's performance against them last year. In that 42-36 Clemson triumph in Death Valley, Jackson combined for 457 total yards, 162 rushing. He also rushed for a pair of touchdowns and threw for another.